Hello, everyone. Welcome to English Made Easy. I'm Mike. It's wonderful to have you here today. If you're learning English and just beginning, don't worry. This podcast is made for you. The topic is self-discipline. We're learning about controlling our mind and our actions. This comes from a helpful book by an expert. But you don't have to buy the book. I will explain the most important ideas to you right here, right now. Before we begin, let me tell you what self-discipline means in simple language. Self-discipline is the ability to push yourself to do what you should do, not what you want, the force inside you that says, keep going, when everything else says, stop. In today's episode, you will discover what self-discipline is, why it becomes weak sometimes, and how you can build it stronger, especially when learning English. You will see why English sometimes feels easy and sometimes feels impossible, why you start strong but stop suddenly, why you feel disappointed in yourself, and how you can change. So relax your mind, and let's start with part 1. Okay, everyone, let's pause here for a second. Picture this situation. It's morning time. The sun is coming through your window. Your phone alarm makes that sound you know so well. Your pillow feels comfortable. Your blanket feels nice and warm. You think, maybe I can sleep a bit more, just 5 minutes, maybe 10. But then, deep inside, something talks to you. Not a loud sound, a gentle feeling, something that whispers, today is important. Stand up. You're ready. Let's go. You move your body. You put your feet on the floor. You walk to the bathroom. You look in the mirror. Your day starts. This small choice, this quiet moment, this tiny decision, this is self-discipline. Self-discipline is not big and exciting. Self-discipline is not like a movie. It's quiet. Self-discipline is that power inside you that makes you take the right step, even when your body says no, even when you feel weak, even when everything seems too hard. The expert who wrote this book says something interesting. Self-discipline is similar to a body muscle, like your arms, your stomach, your chest. When you work the muscle, it gets bigger and stronger. When you use it too much without rest, it gets tired. This idea is very valuable for the book, and it's also very valuable when you're learning a language. Let me make this clear. Imagine learning English. Some days you feel ready. Some days you feel happy. Some days you think, yes, today I will learn so much. Those days are wonderful. But often, learning English is not like that. You come home feeling exhausted from your job. You feel pressure from many things. Your children need you. Your mobile phone never stops making sounds. Facebook is there waiting for you. You think, I just want to sit and do nothing. This is the moment when self-discipline walks in. Self-discipline helps you say, no. I will practice for just 10 minutes. No. I will play this English podcast. No. I will complete one lesson. No. I will do my English work now, before I relax. You don't need 60 minutes. You don't need 2 hours. You just need to decide. Many people believe that certain people are born different. They think some people have natural strength. They think some people received special gifts. But the expert explains, no, that's wrong. Self-discipline is not magic. Self-discipline is not a present you receive at birth. Self-discipline is not only for lucky people. Everyone has self-discipline. You have it right now. Even when you can't see it, even when you doubt yourself, even when you feel powerless, you can make your self-discipline grow, just like you grow your muscles, slowly, patiently, one day after another. You don't begin by carrying something very heavy. You begin with something light, and after weeks and months, you become powerful. The same happens with English. You begin with 5 minutes, later 10 minutes, later 20 minutes. Your self-discipline gets bigger slowly, but it does get bigger. Self-discipline supports you in every area of your life. It supports your English study. It supports your eating choices. It supports your spending habits. It supports your emotions. It supports you to end negative patterns. It supports you to create positive patterns. It supports you to say yes to your dreams and no to staying comfortable forever. Let's see some real situations about learning English. You feel like watching entertainment videos, but you choose your English lesson instead. This is self-discipline. You feel like using your native language with your family, but you practice one English sentence. This is self-discipline. You feel like giving up because English seems too complicated today, but you tell yourself, I will read just one more page. This is self-discipline. You feel like staying in bed instead of repeating English phrases, but you practice 5 phrases anyway. This is self-discipline. You understand? Self-discipline is not impressive and dramatic. It's ordinary. It's silent. It lives inside you right now. But listen carefully to this next part. Your self-discipline has limits. It can become exhausted. It can run low. It can finish completely. The expert uses a special term for this. Self-discipline drain. Drain means your self-discipline becomes empty because you used it many, many times. Think about your laptop battery. Morning starts at 100%. Then you work. You type. You browse. You watch. You communicate. Slowly the battery goes lower and lower. It drains away. Your self-discipline works the same way. Imagine your typical day once more. You get up before you want to. You choose your clothing. You check your messages. You prepare food. You tell yourself, stay calm, when somebody is unkind. You travel to your workplace. You pay attention to your responsibilities. You handle difficulties. You resist looking at social media. You return home feeling drained. You care for your loved ones. You avoid eating unhealthy food. You avoid getting angry in traffic. You see your English materials. Your mind tells you, stop. Please, no more. I'm finished. My energy is gone. This sensation is not about being a weak person. This sensation is not a problem with who you are. This sensation is self-discipline drain. Your self-discipline battery reached 0. This happens to everybody. Clever people, accomplished people, dedicated people. Now let's talk about English learning and self-discipline drain. Have you ever wondered, why does English feel simple on some days, but impossible on other days? Why do I understand quickly one session, but slowly the next session? Why do I feel unmotivated sometimes? Why do I begin powerfully and then collapse? Many times the problem is not your English ability. The problem is your self-discipline level. Your brain spent lots of self-discipline power before this moment, and now there's nothing remaining. This explains why learning English before lunch works better for many students. Your self-discipline battery is completely charged. Your thoughts are clear. You have power to choose correctly. But late at night, after 12 hours of living, even a tiny task feels like climbing a mountain. This explains why some students can practice for 3 hours on Sunday, but barely 15 minutes on Tuesday. It's not about being smart or not smart. It's about self-discipline energy. So what's the teaching of part 1? The teaching is clear. Everyone. Self-discipline is a real thing. Self-discipline gets tired. Self-discipline can become stronger. And self-discipline is completely connected to your English progress. When you train your self-discipline, you train your English. When your self-discipline improves, your English improves. When you manage your self-discipline wisely, your entire life becomes better. Your self-discipline is your secret helper, the helper that lives inside you. It's trying to help you. It's trying to make you better. It's trying to bring you success. And today's lesson will show you exactly how to do that. Okay, everyone, let's go even deeper now. In this part, the expert discusses something crucial. Self-discipline requires fuel, actual fuel, exactly like your muscles, exactly like your physical body. This understanding can transform how you see yourself, your behaviors, and your English journey. Think about your tablet device. When the charge is complete, everything works perfectly. You can use applications smoothly. You can stream content. You can capture photos. The device feels strong. But when the charge becomes very small, the tablet begins to struggle. The display becomes dim. Certain applications might crash. You cannot accomplish what you need. Your self-discipline behaves exactly this way. When your self-discipline fuel is complete, you can learn, you can concentrate, you can remain patient, and you can make wise decisions. When your self-discipline fuel is empty, you create errors, you become irritated, you surrender quickly, and you feel lost. The expert shares that each time you control your impulses, you consume a piece of your power. This is called impulse control. Impulse control means managing your desires, your reactions, or your emotions. Every single time you practice impulse control, you use up some of your self-discipline fuel. A bit here, a bit there, and gradually, your fuel decreases. You might wonder, why does self-discipline need fuel? The expert reveals that the brain requires a specific type of energy source. The brain operates on glucose. Glucose is a basic sugar found in your bloodstream. It's the primary energy your brain consumes to process information, make judgments, and regulate your actions. When your glucose drops, your capacity for self-control drops as well. This is a profound concept in the research. Your mind and body are not separate things. Your self-discipline and your physical condition are connected. If you nourish yourself properly, rest adequately, and stay hydrated, your self-discipline strengthens. If you're starving, sleepy, anxious, or thirsty, your self-discipline weakens. This explains why humans make poor choices when hungry or exhausted. Not because they're bad humans, because their fuel ran out. Let's examine actual situations, especially regarding English learning. Imagine this scene. You arrive home following a demanding day. You're starving. You're drained. Your thoughts feel foggy. You announce, "I need to practice English." But your body responds, "Please, not right now." This moment isn't about being lazy. It's not about being undisciplined. It's about energy levels. Your brain has insufficient fuel. Your self-discipline has minimal power. Your impulse control is exhausted. This explains why countless students learn English more effectively before noon. Not because they're morning types, but because their self-discipline fuel is fresh and full. This concept is extremely valuable for your English practice. Here are several lessons it offers us. If you practice English when your energy is high, you absorb faster. You retain better. You perform stronger. If you practice English when your energy is depleted, you become discouraged. You feel sluggish. You become sensitive. Your energy isn't constant throughout the day. Certain hours benefit your brain, and certain hours don't. This means you must learn to recognize your energy patterns, notice your body signals, understand your mind rhythms. The expert suggests that to learn effectively, you must select the optimal moment. The moment when your self-discipline fuel is abundant. The expert provides many fascinating examples. Research shows that courtroom judges make superior rulings before lunch. Why? Because their energy is full. After many hours of deliberating, their rulings become less fair and less accurate. Not because they intend to be unfair, but because their self-discipline fuel decreases dramatically. This teaches us something huge. Even extensively trained legal professionals with decades of expertise lose impulse control when their energy falls. So naturally, a typical student, a typical employee, a typical parent, a typical English student will also lose impulse control when exhausted. This understanding can bring you comfort. You can stop criticizing yourself. You can start comprehending yourself better. Let's make this very practical. If you want to advance your English, you must also protect your self-discipline fuel. How? Consume something nutritious before studying. A piece of fruit, a wholesome snack, some green tea, a small portion of nuts. Drink plenty of water. Your brain requires hydration to function well. Take a brief walk before your English session. Physical movement boosts your energy. Rest properly at night. Sleep is the ultimate secret for self-discipline power. And crucially, identify the time period when you feel most powerful. Early morning, mid-afternoon, late evening, you choose. Discover your strongest hour, your best time, your peak energy window, and guard that time jealously for English practice. This is how you develop. The major message of Part 2 is obvious. Self-discipline isn't only about mental toughness. Self-discipline is also about bodily energy. When your body feels strong, your mind feels strong. When your body feels depleted, your self-discipline becomes feeble. So if you desire more powerful impulse control for English learning, if you desire to practice more regularly, if you desire to feel more alert, protect your energy levels. Nourish yourself well, rest well, drink water, give your mind breaks, exercise your body. Your self-discipline will appreciate it. Your English will appreciate it. Your future self will appreciate it. Part 3. Why choosing drains your energy? In this section, the expert investigates a concept that many humans experience daily but cannot name properly. The concept is called choice exhaustion, a particular type of mental tiredness. Tiredness means a deep and overwhelming fatigue that arrives from overusing your thinking power. Choice exhaustion occurs when you make so many selections that your brain becomes overwhelmed. Overwhelmed means your brain is processing more than it can comfortably manage. Let me explain this carefully so you truly understand it. When you first wake up, your brain is typically clear and fresh. You feel alert. You can choose rapidly. Your mental power is maximum. But as your day progresses, your mind must make selection after selection after selection. Some selections are tiny, like which shirt to wear. Some selections seem meaningless, like what beverage to drink. Some selections carry stress, like how to respond to a difficult email. Every selection, even the smallest ones, consumes a portion of your thinking power, and slowly, this thinking power diminishes. This is choice exhaustion. Let's examine a typical day and count how many selections you truly make. Should I rise now or rest 5 minutes more? Should I answer this text immediately or postpone it? Should I eat at home or purchase something outside? Should I dress formally or informally? Should I speak politely or express my real feelings? Should I concentrate on work or check Instagram? Should I take a break or continue pushing? Should I rest now or practice my English phrases? These selections feel insignificant, but they gradually empty your self-discipline tank. A tank is a storage container, like a fuel container, but here it represents your mental power. By midday, your tank is half empty. By evening, it's nearly completely empty. This explains why humans often become more emotional, short-tempered, or distracted at night. Not because they transformed into different personalities, because their mental fuel is disappearing. Let's connect this directly to your English journey. Many students don't comprehend why they cannot focus at night. They say things like, "I want to learn, but my brain won't work. I open my textbook, but nothing stays in my mind. I listen to my podcast, but my thoughts wander away." Let me clarify something crucial. Your English isn't weak. Your intelligence isn't low. Your dedication hasn't vanished. It's simply choice exhaustion. Your mind spent too much power on daily selections. Your self-discipline tank is empty. Your mental sharpness is gone. Learning a language demands active processing, attention, and emotional management. These capabilities weaken when your brain is exhausted from too many choices. This explains why many students learn more successfully early in the day, and this explains why some students prefer learning immediately after arriving home, before doing other activities. It's not about being undisciplined. It's about protecting your limited thinking power. The expert shares a counterintuitive idea. Having more options doesn't always improve life. Sometimes more options generate more anxiety. This is the contradiction. A contradiction means something that seems both true and untrue simultaneously. Modern existence provides us with excessive alternatives, excessive foods to select from, excessive programs to stream, excessive texts to reply to, excessive learning materials, excessive English applications, textbooks, programs, podcasts, and channels. This can confuse and drain your mind. For instance, you want to learn English today, but you're uncertain whether to play a podcast, stream a video, complete grammar activities, read literature, practice pronunciation, or study words. You waste 15 minutes just selecting your approach, and suddenly you feel drained before even beginning. This is choice exhaustion again. Here's the wonderful part. The expert explains that we can minimize choice exhaustion by simplifying our existence. Simplify means reducing complexity. Here are some strategies connected to English learning. Select your English practice time once and maintain it identical daily. Select your English approach once and continue it for 1 month. Select your morning meal for the entire week so you don't deliberate every morning. Arrange your clothing the previous evening so you don't waste morning self-discipline on trivial selections. Utilize one audio collection for your English practice so you don't search for new content every session. When you eliminate small selections, you preserve your thinking power for the significant, meaningful activities, like learning English and developing your abilities. The teaching of this section is powerful. Every selection consumes power. Excessive selections drain you. Weakened selections diminish your self-discipline. Reduced self-discipline makes English learning more difficult. But if you simplify your existence, if you establish routines, if you eliminate pointless selections, your mind becomes liberated, your power becomes elevated, your self-discipline becomes robust, and your English learning becomes simpler, smoother, and more pleasant. Your brain appreciates clarity. Your self-discipline appreciates simplicity. And your English appreciates consistency. The following section is very human. It addresses everyone. It clarifies why we sometimes lose control, create poor decisions, abandon a solid plan, or violate a commitment to ourselves. And the most crucial message in this section is this: failing is ordinary. Failing doesn't indicate you're weak. Failing indicates your self-discipline is exhausted. Let's explore this gradually and gently. Sometimes we believe, I must be tougher. I must never lose control. I must practice daily. I must never feel unmotivated. But reality is this: nobody can control themselves constantly. Even brilliant people fail. Even accomplished people fail. Even educators, physicians, attorneys, and executives fail. Why? Because their self-discipline becomes exhausted, just like yours. Impulse control is not a magical personality characteristic. It's a limited resource, and sometimes that resource depletes completely. When your self-discipline power is minimal, you're more inclined to consume excessively, spend recklessly, avoid practicing, become angry, speak words you regret, browse social media for hours, violate your nutrition plan, violate your schedule, violate your routine. These behaviors don't occur because you're defective. They occur because your self-discipline power is depleted. The expert mentions something very intriguing. Most humans fail more during nighttime than during morning. Why? Because at night, your self-discipline is drained from the entire day. Consider this. During morning, you make numerous positive choices. You manage your reactions. You make workplace decisions. You remain courteous. You utilize mental power. You refuse temptations repeatedly. You push yourself to persist. By evening, your brain is fatigued. Your feelings are stronger. Your impulse control is feebler. This explains why humans spend more currency at night, argue with relatives at night, and skip English practice at night. Not because you suddenly transformed, because your self-discipline is completely exhausted. The book also mentions that many humans feel guilty following failure. Guilty means feeling terrible because you believe you did something incorrect. For example, you intend to practice English, but you stream videos instead. Afterward, you feel terrible. You say, "Why did I squander time? What's defective about me?" Or you promise yourself to avoid unhealthy food, but then you consume it, and you say, "I possess zero discipline." Or you announce, "Tonight I will study English." But you fall asleep, and you say, "I accomplished nothing correctly." This guilt makes you feel even weaker. Guilt steals your power. Guilt destroys your motivation. And here's the danger. When you feel guilty, you often fail again and again. You consume more. You skip more sessions. You become more reactive. You avoid learning. You avoid your objectives. The guilt makes everything deteriorate. So the major message of this section is this. Failure occurs because self-discipline is limited, not because you're inadequate. When you stumble, don't feel guilty. Don't feel ashamed. Don't feel damaged. Rise up carefully. Begin again kindly. Attempt again tomorrow. Attempt again next week or next month. You only fail permanently when you quit attempting. And you, everyone listening, you are obviously someone who persists. And that concludes today's episode. Remember, your self-discipline is real. Your self-discipline becomes exhausted. Your self-discipline can develop. And with more powerful self-discipline, your English learning becomes simpler and more delightful. You don't need perfection. You don't need marathon study sessions daily. You only need small, consistent actions. Some reading, some listening, some practicing, some compassion toward yourself. Thank you so much for listening to English Made Easy. I'm Mike, and I'm grateful that your English is developing. Your future is expanding. You're becoming stronger each day. I'm genuinely proud of you. Until next time, continue learning, continue practicing, and continue believing in yourself. Goodbye for now.